Welcome, welcome everybody. Thank you for inviting me to come across. Hopefully, I met some of you at the Archer Travel conference earlier this year. A little bit about Travel Sapphire. If you don't know, we're specialists in India and the subcontinent. So India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bhutan, and Maldives. Maldives, however you want to say it. Um, the one big thing, sorry, my slideshow I think is a little bit slow as well, so I do apologize. But we're the experts in this region. The one thing that makes us unique, and I'll go flip through the presentation as quick as I can as well, is that we own our own offices. We are the operators of the vehicles, the guides. We own our operation. So you're not going dealing through a third party, which makes it a lot easier and a lot more flexible for you guys to create the itineraries. These are just some of our associations, accreditations across the world, IATA, all the big ones around the world. Um, the one thing that Travel Sapphire does the best is everything we do is all tailored made, personalized itineraries. So you're not going to have the same itinerary twice effectively. So, yes, we can use some of these itineraries that I'll show you in a sec, but these are just really the starting point because my again I'm just going to use names. I can see Cassie's itinerary for her clients to the Golden Triangle in India might be based on food, where Sandra's might be based on photography and somebody else's might be based on wildlife. So what we do is all tailor make it depending on what the client and the traveler is actually after. So you're never really going to get the same itinerary twice, which is the big thing. Um, Here's a quick little map of India. It is a large country. It's hard to get from top to bottom, in a reasonable amount of time. The best way is flying because it is such a large country. Um, you fly into the capital, Delhi, which is just there where my little hand, can you see my little hand on there? So that you fly into Delhi is the most easiest point, and I know they've got direct flights from LA and New York into Delhi. Um, and up in this northern area, that's mostly the most popular part of where most tourists travel, which is what they call the Golden Triangle, and I'll go through that in a second. But that whole northern Indian region is basically the 90% of our business, not just out of America, but around the world coming in. So from Australia, from Europe, most people will fly into there. Yes, down south here we have Kerala and we have some nice wellness resorts and stuff down there I'll get to, but that's the majority is up here. So I'm going to try to concentrate on a little bit more of that kind of stuff, which is where you guys will learn a little bit more from. India Golden Triangle, this is the backbone of nearly every single itinerary that we do around the world. It's called the Golden Triangle. Start in Delhi, go to Agra, Jaipur, and that's the little triangle that we do here. And you might think, oh, what's the big deal of that little area? Well, Delhi's capital, got the old town, the new town. So you've got the really good old spice markets to go through and see where the chilies and the turmeric and cumin come from. Then you go into the new town with these magnificent buildings, Parliament House buildings. That is really the headquarters and the main gateway to India. Then you come down to Agra, which is the big temple here in the back here, which is beautiful, iconic. And then you go to Jaipur, which is what they know as the Pink City. And the Pink City is wonderful, nice, laid back area. And that really is the main backbone. Everything else for India, whether it's photography, wellness, food tours, will basically go branch out from this itinerary. So this is why we always start with this itinerary, and your clients can then add to. There's a lot of go up to Varanasi for the holy city and do the holy water. You can go down south and do Kerala. You can go to other national parks to do to elephants and leopard safaris and all that kind of stuff. So it's actually a really good starting point, and everything's easy access from there. And that is most probably one of our most popular itineraries that we'll do. On our website, which I'm not going to go through today, but we've got most probably another 50 different itineraries and versions of this itinerary. So I'll send you or to somebody, or and then you can send it out for me, Cassie. Is that a little overview, a brief with these links and bits and pieces on it, so you guys can have a bit of a look and see what your clients are interested. You send that to your clients. The one thing is we don't deal with the public directly. So you can confidently send them the itinerary, to send them the link. They might come to us and ask us for a quote. We'll always refer them back to you as a travel agent. We don't believe in taking direct business like cruise lines and other wholesalers do. We want to work with the travel agents, and that's what we pay you guys commission for. um, the main thing. What we do have in our brochure, because we understand India is not a destination that everybody can get to, is that we'll have in a page here, and this goes for all countries, 4-star, 5-star, and luxury hotel brand. So you can mix and match some of these as well. So you do not have to have everything is 4-star, everything is 5-star. You can have 4-star in Delhi, 5-star in Agra, and luxury hotel in Jaipur, and mix it all up. So give your clients different experiences. And that's what it's all about for us. It's experience, seeing the destination differently. You don't want to be put on a coach tour of 40 odd people and be herded around like cattle, and you're 4-star here, 4-star there, and it's all the same. We want to have a unique experience where you can go to like the Grand or the Leela in Delhi and still have rooftop pools and bars and restaurants, but you have that Indian architecture all through it. So you feel like you're there. You're not just in a Holiday Inn sitting on Miami Beach, or in that same hotel is then replicated at LAX airport. It's the exact same option. We don't want that. We want you guys to have, or your clients to have a unique experience. Then they can go to a 5-star into the ITC Mughal Hotel, and they have a nice wood fire Indian meal in these big rooms with big chandeliers hanging down, and then you open your blinds and you see the Taj Mahal. This is what it's all about for us. It's all about uniqueness and different, creating those itineraries and experiences that the clients are actually wanting to do. And that's what we do. We design those itineraries based on your information you give to us. So the more information you give us about the client, the budget, what they're looking for, standards, accommodation, in terms of star ratings or unique activities, we can put that into there. Because we have our own offices on the ground in all of our locations, like in smaller satellite offices, but even our big head offices, we have access to stuff that your typical travel agent would not access. We've got access to the royal family. You could have afternoon tea with the royal family, a member of the royal family in Jaipur. You can do cooking, hands-on cooking experiences. You can ride elephants. You can do safaris. This is what makes us different and apart from everybody else in the marketplace. Part of the Indian experience, we do a lot of luxury trains. This is Palace on Wheels. Palace on Wheels and the Maharaja Express both run 1-week itineraries around India, and they're all luxury. You sleep on the train, eat on the train, but then during the day you'll go out and sightsee at different locations depending on where the train is, whether it's up north or down south. The big thing for us is that your transport's obviously included, your meals are included, and you get look like a king. And as you can see in that decor of those rooms, it is very authentic Indian style accommodation. You feel like you're a part back in the 1960s and doing the regal transport, but you're at a luxury level. You've got the white glove service, gold knives and forks when you're eating in the restaurant. Is a really beautiful experience. They are a week long, and we usually match them up with other bits and pieces. So they might do a northern itinerary, then you might come and do a couple of days in Delhi and then fly down and do something else in the south for a 2-week type of an itinerary. But again, depending on what your client's interests are, we'll just design it around that. We've got the luxury river cruises. We've got the Ganges river cruises here. Again, 5-star luxury river cruising along the Ganges River, and you go. The best part about this, you get to see villages and stuff that you you wouldn't normally see on a typical Indian itinerary. There's times there I've been on these itineraries where I've seen little kids, and it's the first time they've seen a white person. And I know that sounds a little bit racist, but they don't get to see the tourist on a daily basis like you would do in Delhi or Agra, in some of the bigger cities. These people were just fascinated to sit there and watch me have a can of Coke while I was having lunch and looking at me through the restaurant window. Then I went and had photos with these kids. They were beside themselves when you bought them a lolly or something. They were outstanding, and it's a unique type of thing that you'll get to see in travel. It's not something you do. The experience itself on board the ship is fascinating. Again, 5-star cruising down the river, you'll see, because it is the holy river, the Ganges River, you will actually see the unfortunately dead bodies being burnt on the river, which is the typical Indian way of burial, especially on the holy river. They don't bury people or cremate them like we do. They cremate them in the river. They will put them on the burning on the side and then float them down river, because it is known as a holy river, spiritual river. The other one is the Assam Bengal. Again, a bit more unique style, smaller ship, beautiful. All your touring is done from the ship as well. But again, just like the train, you're cruising at night time or in the afternoons. Great sunsets, as you can see up there on the top hand. And some of the itineraries you can see on a clear day, the mountain range as well. Big Indian festivals, Holi and Diwali. Holi is the color festival, the one on the left. We go out and mingle with the clients. Nearly everybody wears white, and then they'll throw the colored powder all over you, and you throw it back to them. It's a real fun, happy time. It's a real one to get out there into the um, have those authentic experiences. You're not just sitting in a hotel being chaperoned around. You're mixing with the locals, walking down the markets, and they'll color bomb you from the side and whatever else, and you'll end up with all through your hair. And it's brilliant, fun times. It's a really, to bring out the good people of India. This is the fun festival. Diwali, which we just happened a couple of weeks ago now, is the festival of lights. The whole country lights up. Fairy lights everywhere around the country is brilliant. They do nice festival, great food. It's a little bit more subdued compared to Holi. Holi is the fun one. Diwali is still lights, and that's all about the spirituality of meeting other with the gods and the family members who have passed on. We move across to Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is one of my favorite places in the world. It's really a smaller, exotic destination. It's a lot very similar to India in the sense there's a lot of activities to do. So you fly into Colombo, and then you generally, speaking on a sort of a 10-day, 2-week itinerary, head across into Dambulla. You've got the caves up in Dambulla. There's an elephant sanctuary along the way that we'll usually stop in. You can feed the elephants, see them wash, bathe them, move across go to the caves. There's another national park out there, Miniera, where you can do, again, more elephant viewing, in that this time they're in wild elephants. They're not in a sanctuary. Then you come down to Kandy, which is more a cultural centre, which is known for its spiritual, like I said, cultural side of things, cultural dancing. Then you come down to Nurai Ella, and then there's more animal life around here, but it's well known for its tea plantations. So Dilmar tea, all those type of, I don't know any tea companies from the UK, from the US, but the Dilmar Twinings tea, if you've ever heard of those big ones, that's where their big tea festival plantations are. You can go down there and see how they've grown, how they're plucked, how it progresses into the actual tea leaves before brewing it. You can do obviously taste testing there as well. And then generally a lot of them will come across to Yala National Park, where they'll do leopard and tiger safaris, and elephants here, sloth bear, doing your safaris here, and then come down the coast. And anywhere along this coastline here is really good for surfing, beaches, whale watching, dolphin watching. But Gaul is mostly the main point of that point on this part here. Gaul got an old English fort, sitting on that point, and then you generally come back up through Colombo to go home. Colombo, to a lot of us, is just a city. It's not a place that you would spend a lot of time for. It is brilliant. It's nice, great, some great restaurants. The curries here are different to India, and because it's a Commonwealth, or was a Commonwealth country, or still is, I think, actually, Commonwealth country, there is a lot of English influence into this area as well. So there is a bit of UK influence in terms of the food. It's not as spicy food wise, but it does have a lot of Portuguese influence as well, because it was once a major stopping point for the Portuguese through to the East Indies as well. This is one of our typical itineraries here, a 10-day, well, this one's a 9-day itinerary. Basically what we just said, Colombo into Habarana, which is where the caves are, there's also Siguera Rock, go up to Kandy, you go to Nuwara Ella, and then to Yala National Park and come back to Gore. That price is around about $1,000 per person, twin share, private tour. So you're not on a group departure. Again, we've got a listing here. This is just an overview. 4 5-star and luxury hotels. You do have some of these really good tea factories, tea promises. They're not your Western standard chain hotels everywhere. You do have the Cinnamon Hotel Group and Jet Wing, which are local branded hotels, which are more 4 and 5-star hotels, but give you that authenticity of the being in the local country. In this case, in Sri Lanka, they have really good. They'll have afternoon tea. They'll do the morning yogas, something different than that you would normally get at a Hilton hotel on Miami Beach somewhere, as an example. Nepal is fascinating at the moment. It's where Mount Everest is. They've had some issues there early this year with mudslides and rain. That's all been rectified. That's the biggest question I get now is, oh, Nepal, mudslides, is that all fixed? Yes, that's all fixed. No dramas. The roads are being rebuilt. They've also got their golden triangle as well, which is Pokhara, Kathmandu, and Chitwan. And I'll go into that in a sec. But it's also where you can do Everest base camp. So we can do all the base camp. If people want to climb Mount Everest and do base camp, we can do all that kind of stuff as well. This is what we call the golden triangle of Kathmandu, into Kathmandu, Chitwan, and Pokhara. And you fly in between Pokhara and Kathmandu, and Chitwan and Kathmandu. It's only a 45-minute flight, but it saves a 9-hour drive on a windy road doing 20 miles an hour. It is not a drive for the faint-hearted. So we always say, you can do it if you want to save $200, but ideally you just fly them. Makes it a whole lot better. Even people who said, no, I'm okay with a 9-hour drive, they get there, but then the next day they go, no, we're never doing that again. Flies from Pokhara back to Kathmandu. So we do that. Kathmandu, capital city, King's Palace. You got Dumba Square, which is a massive, big area square with all the markets area. And there's a couple of, you can go and meet the Princess of Kathmandu in there as well. Great viewing spots, and all around you, you've got the mountain range. So you have these great pictures. I know it's a bit hard to see the top right-hand corner. You see the mountain range and the snow-capped mountains in the background. So visually, it's really good. Then you go down into Chitwan National Park, and you can do the tiger safaris. You can do all the traditional farming with the bulls and the yaks taking you around, and then go into Pokhara. Pokhara is really the adventure capital of the world, or adventure capital of Nepal. Whitewater rafting, trekking, climbing, motorboats on the lake and the river. You can jump out of airplanes, parachuting, hydro gliding as well. So anybody with motorsports and want to do activity stuff in Nepal, you can do that. And that's the biggest thing that I found. When I first went to Nepal many years ago, I didn't realize they had all this kind of stuff there, and it's a great place to do something different. And it's obviously a lot cheaper. The standards are still very high in terms of safety and all that kind of stuff because they've got to be they're done to international standards, like keeping upkeep of the planes and all that kind of stuff. But that is a really good place to do that kind of stuff. And then generally you come back to Kathmandu. That there is 99.9% of the itinerary you would sell to Nepal. I don't think I've ever sold anything other than that in 10 years of being doing this job. So if you're ever looking at Nepal, do this, or the other option is the base camp. They're the two itineraries and packages that you normally would sell 99% of the time. Again, we've got 4 and 5 star luxury hotels here. We put this on again in our brochure, but this just give you a bit of an idea. We've got the Shangri-La, Fairfield by Marriott, Crown Plazas. We've got all those luxury hotels, but then we've got the Bahari Jungle Lodge where, bamboo huts, even though that says, I say it's a bamboo hut, it's still 5 star, it's still luxury, still got butlers, you swim up pools, pool bars, massage, choices of restaurants. There's a lot of stuff going for it, and they do a lot of unique stuff. So if it's the dry season, they'll go and have sunset drinks on the dry riverbed in the national park, and you can sometimes see the lion, the tiger coming down walking along the dry riverbed while you're sitting there having your cup of tea or a champagne as well. It's a very unique experience, and this is what it's all about for us. Bhutan. Bhutan is very hard to get to, very hard to get into because they only have 400 visas a month for tourists. So it's very you got to get in early. My trip was 12 months in the making to get visas and get issued visas. Generally, you can fly in from Delhi or from Kathmandu. Ideally, from Kathmandu is easier. You come into Thimphu and then you go out and do again, generally, most people would do a week-long itinerary. There's a lot of monasteries there. And then the most famous part is this tiger's nest here on the left. It's a monastery built on top of a mountain on side of a cliff. It's a 2.5 hour trek up and 2 hour trek back down. It's about 7 hours round trip. Go up there, you can get blessed by the monks who live up there, and to get up and down, they walk up and down every single day to get back down to the mountain. That is most really the biggest highlight in Bhutan you can do. Punakha and Thimphu and Paro, that's the itinerary, the 3 itineraries, but there's a lot of monasteries, temples, very religious focused itineraries as well. Again, 4 and 5. One thing I do notice here with Bhutan, a lot of the celebrities, Tom Cruise and the like, they go to Bhutan because they can get away from everybody. They'll go and stay in the Six Senses Bhutan for a week in the penthouse where they'll have two pools and 2-bedroom apartments and all these kinds. It's a very well-known Hollywood hideaway for all those superstars who want to get away from everything and just have some downtime, rest, massaging. That's why you'll see there's a lot of Six Senses, Como hotels, Amakora hotels. They're all the 5-star, 6-star level standard accommodation. You've got ones that are tented accommodation, and then you got your traditional luxury overview hotels. Maldives. We've got a 1,001 hotels there. You tell us the hotel, we've got it there. These is just a selection to give you an overview of where we're sitting with a lot of that kind of stuff. But we can access every hotel. Some are like Barros here or Grand Central Hotel in 4-star. Nice, simple. You got the garden view rooms, and you got ocean view, and then you got overwater bungalows. Then you can go up to St. Regis, Valia private islands, where you can actually have your own private plunge pools and slides into the water and all that kind of stuff. We can do all the transfers in between. You just get to Mali, you get your clients to Mali, and then we will actually get them from work out the seaplane transfer. If it's a seaplane transfer or private boat transfers, we can do all that kind of stuff for you as well. To give you one other thing that I've just noted we've got now is the Four Seasons Explorer cruise. So it's operated by the Four Seasons. It does a cruise around all the different islands. So really good for snorkeling and scuba diving enthusiasts. And at different times of year in the winter, you can do the whale watching as well. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an overview. I've put in here a couple of the combination tours to give you a bit of an idea. Um, a lot of the combinations, Nepal and Bhutan usually go hand in hand together, and same with India and Sri Lanka as well. They're the two that generally work well together for like a 2 week itinerary. So, especially for you guys, it's just as far for us from Australia as well. But for you guys, clients going there, they're not going to just go to India for a week or to Nepal for a week. These are the options a couple of the combination tours that work really well. India and Bhutan, Nepal and Bhutan, and India and Sri Lanka for a 2 week type of an itinerary, that would work out pretty good. They'd start off around about $3,000 per person twin share for a private tour. So and by private tour, I mean, it's say two clients, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, with their own driver, and then the guides will come and meet them in the local towns to show them around and take them all the touristy spots. So that's a really good private setup. I know with some of the tours, and I'm pretty sure you're familiar with like Insight Tours and Colette and all that kind of stuff, they'd be double that with a group departure. So you're really getting good value for money. And the other good thing is we can start these clients anytime. So if Cassie, you've got a client wants to go on the 1st of July, that's great. And then you've got another client going on the 3rd of July, that's okay as well. You don't have to make them go on a joint tour on the 5th of July because that's the only departure. We can make them mix and match we can have clients coming in on every day of the year that they won't meet each other. They won't cross paths because they'll have their own guide, their own driver doing their own things. As I said, we've got a lot of special interest tours depending on your clients: golf, yoga, cricket, if you're familiar with cricket, food tours, base camp, spiritual tours, wellness, yoga, health retreats. You tell us what your clients are interested, we'll put it together. There's mostly something that we haven't done. We may not have done something. I don't know. Croquet. We've done croquet. We've done it all, sort of thing. So as long as you guys tell us what your clients are interested in, we can go off and find the itinerary and put the itinerary around their itinerary. While you work with us, we expect knowledge. That's the biggest thing. We're on the ground. We've got local people. If something goes wrong, our team's there to look after him. Our guides are there. A lot of the times we will actually fix the problem before we actually tell you. So we've had cases of where the mudslides or typhoons come in or something's happened, flooding because of heavy rain. We've actually speaking to the clients first, move them to wherever they need to be moved to be safe and whatever. And then we've come back and told you, hey, just let you know, Sandra, we've moved your clients, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, because of the rains in Delhi. We've got them out to Jaipur. We're switching the itinerary a bit. They're happy with it. Everything's all done. End of story. If we need to do cancellation letters because they've missed out on part of their itinerary or whatever, we'll do a cancellation letter so the clients can claim it on insurance as well for the parts that they've missed out on. So we're very much all about you and the client and looking after their way. We have strong supplier relationships because we are a global company. We've got our own sales offices in Australia, South America. We've got 3 in South America. We've got USA coming, hopefully with a bit of luck. USA, we've got Japan, Korea, we've got England, we've got France, we've got Germany, we've got Spain as well. We've got global buying power. So we use our global buying power to get these contracts. So we have rates that even you may not be able to get through Expedia or those type of companies when you guys are looking for it. So especially like Maldives as well, because we do have that global buying power. We have the strong supplier relationships. Give an example, this week we've just got a room for a client where there's a buyout on a whole hotel in Sri Lanka. So they have these weddings where there's 800 people come, they'll take the whole hotel, or 300 rooms. We've managed to get one room because the client's coming from Australia for that hotel. We've rung the hotel and said, it took us a while, but said, hey, we've got one client coming from Australia. Can we have one room for this wedding? Yep. Okay. you're one of our biggest supporters of that hotel, we'll give you one room for the wedding rather than going through what the wedding process. The attention detail, the insurances. So we got civil, like public and civil liability insurance. The best thing is though, we'll tailor it to whatever you guys need, and that's the big thing here. Whatever your clients are interested in, we'll work it out from there. A couple of self familiars for you guys, and I can send all this through, so you don't need to squint and whatever and try to read it all. I know it's a little bit hard, but we can do. We've got a couple of options here: a 4-star standard and a 5-star. So we've got a self familiar rate. So if you want to take somebody with you, twin share, $1,099 per person for a Golden Triangle itinerary based on 4 stars. We also then have a private tour for 2 passengers on 4-star with single rooms. And then if you guys want to take a group with you, you go for free, providing you sell 10 passengers with you, you travel for free. So that's a 1130 per person twin share. Does that make sense? So basically, if you take a group of 10 people, 10 passengers, you go for free yourself and we call that a self-familiar rate. Then we got the 5-star option as well. So I'll send all this through to, I guess, one of you, Cassie, or some, I don't know where we'll work it all out of where I've got to get it to, and then you can distribute it out to you guys. The big thing for us though is that we can work on that kind of stuff for all of our destinations. So if you want to take a group to Sri Lanka or India or wherever, one of the girls from Archer Travel has already got a group for Sri Lanka for next year. She's got 22 people already. So she's going for free to the Maldives. Now you could do that for India or whatever we can design the itinerary that you want to do. So if you are into wellness, we can do a health retreat, or we can include more massages in the itinerary, or doing more yoga trips, we can include that as well. Here's a couple of specials just to give a bit of an idea on some of the packages and different pricing that we can do for you guys. This one's a 7-day wellness package in Sri Lanka, $2,310. You still do your normal sightseeing, but you've also got any massages and wellness package there as well. We've got Taj and Tigers there, which is the Holi festival. You go and do the Tiger Safari in Ranthambore, see the Taj Mahal, but most of all, spend a couple of days experiencing the Holi and the Holi festival. That's $1,690 per person. Now, that flyer and this flyer, this is for consumer. So you can use these to promote on your own social media or send it out to your databases to get that information as well. That's all already got 10% commission loaded in there for you guys as well. We've got a couple of flash sales for the Maldives, 6,000 for 5 nights. Siam World, this is where I stayed, in that water villa with a pool. So it has a pool and a slide into the actual water. That's $6,000 for 5 nights, all inclusive. Meals, drinks, everything's all included. That's total. That's a really good package. Then we got the 4-star sister property of that for 3,900 in a beach pavilion as well. Obviously, you can upgrade to a over water bungalow. I'm not a massive fan of the water bungalows, only because once you jump out and swim on one of these over water bungalows, if you're in this one, swim out here, you can see into the other bungalows. So I'm not a massive fan of the over water bungalows. I prefer the beach ones where there's a little bit more greenery around it. But again, each their own. This is an iconic destination and most people want to do the overwater bungalow, don't get me wrong. But if you've got your own pool, like I had in my previous one, like in the Siam World, yeah, fine. It's not as big a drama. You just swim in the pool, not in the ocean. But this one, if you want to swim out, yeah, I'm not a massive fan. But the good thing is you can actually snorkel directly off your balcony. What I'm also going to do is give you guys a bit of an incentive to say thank you for all your time this morning. Well, it's morning time here, evening over there. For every booking over $3,000, we'll give you personally a $30 voucher. If it's over $5,000, a $50 voucher. $10,000, that should have been a $100 voucher. Just for you guys to spend and say a bit of an extra bonus on top of your commission as well. but yeah, and that will run from basically 24 November to 15 January, and travel window basically from 1 December until 30 March. So providing you fit into all that kind of stuff, that's a bit of a um, just a quick little Christmas incentive type thing. Um, that's it for me. I've sort of hopefully covered a lot of it. I know it's sort of 35 minutes now. I'm taking up a bit of your time, but just try to cover it all as much as I could. Does anybody have any questions at all?
Yes, thank you, Justin. Um, yes, if you have any questions, put them in the information. He will send it to Nina or I, and we will get it out. Um, what information I don't know who that is. That's just a cell phone number. The 817 number. What information in particular are you looking for? What all will you send us, Justin, in the
Yeah. So what I'll do, I'll send you a link to the website. You do, okay. So we don't have a travel agent portal. You don't need to have access to it. We're not a booking engine. You'll just send us emails to quote and book. We usually have turnaround time of 24 hours with most stuff. I'll send you most through this presentation to give you an idea. I'll send you a link to the brochure, the link to the website. I'll most send you those flyers as well. So you've got a copy of them so you can promote. I'll put a link to our Facebook page. So we'll put a lot of face stuff on our Facebook page as well. Like if there's a flooding or something like that. So, you can keep track of different things. And also, if we have any famils, we usually put our famils up there as well. So, and not just our self famil rates, we'll put our famil rates up. Like if we're having a hosted famil as well, we can put that up there as well. But you tell me what you guys need, and we can also, if there's stuff that you guys need, we can definitely do that for you. Okay,
perfect?
cool.
So if we're going to get the presentation and information and links, do we need anything else? Does anybody have any other questions? I'm assuming the prices that you were quoting for the fam, that's us
Yeah.
getting airfare to there.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So
Okay.
we don't do the international airfares. We've got access to it. But what I found out that our IATA doesn't get the same IATA specials that you have because we're not in the US. So they'll give you guys different rates to what we've got, which would tend to be more expensive. We've actually got really good internal fares. Like, so if you're going from Delhi to Mumbai and Mumbai to Jaipur or whatever, we've got really good rates on that because obviously our IATA is based in India. But for the international fares, it's far better for you guys to find a fare from, wherever you are, Chicago to Delhi, rather than us give you a Chicago to Delhi flight. It's just not competitive.
Okay. Can you share the Facebook link in the chat?
Yep, I can do that. I'll shut that out and I'll fire it. I've got it. It's no, that's I'll put the, I've just got to find it. Hold on. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I'll just grab it. There he is. Here you go. Give me 2 secs. There we go. I'll put it in there. There we go. That's our link to the Facebook page. And then I'll just have to
Okay.
go on and accept you. Okay. It's an agent only one. So you just have to put in that you're part of Archer Travel, and then I'll accept you onto there. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
No worries.
Do you want to email your information to me? I'll put my email in here and then we will
Yep. We can do that. That's
get
easy
it
done.
dispersed out.
Yeah, please. Thank you very much. Thank you for everybody's time. It's been, there we go. There. Whoop. Sorry. I can't. I'm trying to. I can't. Okay, don't worry. I'll just have to copy it. I was gonna. Mrs. Cassie is at Gmail. Okay. Thank you very much. I'll send that through. Give me an hour or so, and I'll send that all
Okay,
through. But
perfect.
really appreciate your time. Thank you everybody for coming. I've had great interactions with everybody from Arch Travel so far, and hopefully I'll see you guys in Hawaii in Is that
Yeah.
June, May, June, July? I don't know.
July. July.
July. Yeah, I
Yeah.
knew it was somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So,
We'll be
but
there in July. That's our plan.
yeah, okay. But no, I really appreciate it. Thank you for support. And look, if you need anything, reach out to me. Even though I'm in Australia, I'm always on emails and different time zones. But I'll be
Can
able
you put
to.
your contact information in the chat box
Yeah,
as well, Justin?
yes, most definitely. Uh, travel-sapphire.com. There we go. Oh, that should Justin at. Oh man, Justin at. There we go. That's me. There we go. Cool. So that's got my details in there. If anybody needs anything, any other questions, or you want me to design an itinerary, or I've got a group, or got general questions, we'll give you payment links as well, secure payment links, so you guys can pay via credit card. We've got direct deposits, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's all set up, ready to go. So
Awesome.
you just send the inquiries, and we'll sort you out from there.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much
Cool.
for your time, Justin.
No worries. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Have a great week. Happy
You too.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Um, okay.